my computer. Okay. So yeah, no, it's very exciting. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Anybody have anything monumental to report besides the HVAC stuff? Anything new that's been going on? So excited. If you find that picture, Sandy, definitely send me the picture of the road. You know, I keep saying to Matt, are you going to put up a sign, you know, future home of the, and he kept laughing at me. I can put it there, but you know, what happens if you put up a sign and there's, you know, nobody can get there? So, you know, it's the little things. I just want, you know, I just want people to know.
You can't see it.
Oh, wow, there's really a road.
Uh-huh.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, so we're going, hey, Jim, we're going in August. I'm sitting here going, why am I purposely going to North Carolina in August? But we're going to do our electrical inspection, the cabinet review, and then go to the design center and start picking the stuff. And then we're hoping that our build, that they start breaking ground in September. So that's
good.
Yeah, that's our goal. A lot of it was about the road, is that they have to be able to get trucks. It doesn't have to be paved, but we need a road that can, you know, that can support the construction. So
Robin, who's your builder?
we're building with AR Homes. So why are you smiling? I see Patty smiling. Get yourselves off mute. Come on.
We started with AR Homes and the price kept going up and up and up to the tune of $150,000 as of last spring. And there was a clause that was going to say any increase in commodity costs were going to be borne by us.
And it was right at the time when, you know,
Lumber.
building was just resuming and lumber costs were sky high. And it was just an unknown quantity and just I mean, we don't do anything quickly. So the time that we started looking in October to February, I mean, there was a huge escalation in cost because it's a custom built home. And we decided that we just had to find something a little less labile.
Yeah, we kind of straddled a whole bunch of stuff with that. And I hear what you're saying, and we went back and forth and back and forth. And the big joke was, all these houses were great, but where was Robin going to put her shoes? So that became the big joke as we went around. But yeah, so we're building with AR. We fell in love with the house. We just fell in love with the house, and just also from the process, because we're not going to be coming down probably until 2024. So, it's also a matter of the freedom and the flexibility for us to be able to go back and forth, because we're both still working, and the stress, I just know me. So I tell everybody the way I looked at it, or the way we looked at it, is the difference between going to an all-inclusive versus an a la carte resort. Like sometimes you pay more and you're laughing, but I'm a travel agent. So, this is how I think about everything. But there are a lot of people who like to go to, they don't want to have to be told where they're going to go. Knowing me, it was going to end up wherever I was going to go. I was going to end up finding the most expensive cabinets and the most expensive marble. This way, everything is already in the build for me, that there is a very small chance at this point that it's going to go beyond what, and my husband is sitting there going, somehow she's going to find a way. Somehow she's going to find a way. He's being awfully quiet. I think being a city person who's never lived more than 40 miles from New York, this building stuff is totally foreign. We've never done anything like this before. And Nina, you and I have had this conversation,
yes.
About this. And, if we were able to be down there while the build was going on, it would be a very different story, knowing that, knowing how I am and knowing how Michael is. we could be wrong, but it's an unknown. So, you know, we've been really super happy with, you know, everything so far, because we're, and now we're gonna go and start picking things, and they've been really super responsive and everything. So fingers crossed, and you can always hang out in our house. Absolutely, you know, and the house will be open.
And I wonder if I could ask for anybody who's already in the middle or close to the end of construction, at what point did you go to the design center and pick all your stuff? Like, how many months into like the project? Because,
Do you have Southern Pines?
yes,
All right, well, see, when we did ours, we had to do it right up front. I mean,
yeah, and I was not expecting that, quite honestly. I thought when we first met with him, he said like maybe 4 months into it, but then today I spoke to him and it was like way sooner, and I just kind of was taken off guard. But I guess the most important, apparently the most important thing to pick is the kitchen cabinetry, because that could affect the layout of the entire room, you know, in those open floor plans, like where the windows, like if a window has to move or something. So, but I was not prepared to go to North Carolina like in the next month for sure.
So Nina, who's your builder?
Southern Pines.
They have a showroom? Or is
They
No.
they have a design center, and Ted said we could do a lot remotely. Like he would send me like the link to the person who would be the contact, and we could go back and forth. But you know, that's only going to work up to a point. We're definitely going to have to make the trip. I just didn't expect it to be quite this immediate.
We use Southern Pines. We use Southern Pines also. We signed our contract in August, and we went out and did literally everything in October. And when I say everything, I mean cabinets, countertops, and flooring. And you want to talk about stress. We did
Yes, and I already have the stress.
4 days.
Yeah.
4 days.
It's exhausting because
Four
one
days.
thing Bill Clark let us do is they let us do the exterior, like 1 week to do all the exterior stuff and the colors and whatever else on the outside. So we're able to at least do that at one time. And then of course we had to go to the design center. We were there for 8 hours.
We gotta go to
Okay.
different places. We had to go to different places for Ted, and the flooring place that he sent to us originally, they didn't return anybody's phone calls. So then when we went back in February, we had to do our flooring all over again.
Oh, no.
So it is, but this other place is much better than the original place.
This
I
rug work?
agree, and
Rug works.
we
Yeah,
have not
we
gone
just-
with anybody with Ted's that he's recommended. And I'm now got it completed with my 5th cabinet company. But it took 2 of his recommendations and I couldn't get anything through. And it took a while. And then if
Wow.
you do it too early, then you got to be ready for plan B, because by the time you get there, they won't have the stuff. You'll have to pick something else.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
wow.
use Port City Cabinet, which was recommended by Ted, and we've had nothing but really positive.
Right.
I think
Us
a
What's
lot
it
too.
of
called?
people-
Port City, like PORT?
Richard,
Yes.
at Port City, a lot of people like him and a lot of people, I think he does a
He
lot
talks so
with them.
fast.
And who
Well,
was the
maybe-
one, who was the one that you said did not come through with anything and you had to start over?
Oh.
Which company was that?
Rico
Oh,
out of Raleigh
and Owens flooring.
and Owens Flooring's a bust.
Oh, yeah, that's where we went originally, and they were awful. They didn't even return Ted's phone calls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Owen Flooring? Okay, I need to
Don't
get.
do
it
them.
together.
Nina,
I need to
start
start
making
getting
a
this
list.
down.
Start
I
making
know,
lists.
we need to have some reviews posted on our little chat. Okay,
Yeah,
that's-
Rugworks was perfect for flooring.
Yeah.
Hector was Marmite
Rugworks
for
was a thumbs up.
granite in the kitchen.
Yep.
I'm sorry? Yeah,
Rug-
Marmite. Who did you, Bayside Lighting is really good. That's where we got a lot of lighting from. The stuff we got at Lowe's, but some of the stuff, yeah, but that was a big one. And then who was the other one?
What's in cabin?
So I might be there in
14.
August. Who's going in August?
Betty,
We'll
you're
be
gonna be
there.
there in August,
It
Nina.
sounds like I might be there in August.
We're
I have to
pla-
see
we're
if my
planning
husband
on-
can
we're
get
gonna-
off work.
Yeah, we're planning on going down right now. In fact, that's what we were doing beforehand, like the 20, like the third week, the 20th through like the 24th. Down in that area, because we
In
need to pick everything. So we have the design center, and then we have the exterior, the cabinetry, and the electrical walkthrough, all done before we even break ground. Like all this stuff is all done, the stone for outside, and all of that. But we've been trying to do a lot of stuff beforehand. Like, we're using Mannington flooring. So that's what's part of our build. So I know that it's Mannington. So Mannington will send you free samples. So I went on Mannington and I ordered a bunch of samples under a bunch of different names, and stuff came to the house, and we looked, okay, we really like this one. We really like that one. And it's helping us because now we're looking, okay, we like this particular flooring. Now we can start looking at paint, right? So it all kind of builds itself together. So by the time we get down there, our hope is that we have things. And I spoke to somebody at the design center already, and we went through, she was looking at the floor sample and she suggested paint colors. So now we're able to get paint samples and look at the paint samples. So by the time we get there, a lot of that stuff has been done.
Oh.
So
You
is
know, we-
anybody at the design center like a person who can help guide you? Like if you say, these are the cabinets I have, this is the tile I have, do they like help you kind of put everything together? Or you literally are going from like vendor to vendor, picking stuff and just hoping it all goes together?
You're going to vendor with Ted, but they all do help. Like they give you samples, and then you bring the samples of the cabinets to the countertop people. Then you bring all that to the flooring people.
Okay.
So you can, they all give you samples of what you're ordering.
Patty, you were gonna say something.
Well, just Bruce and I have had, two homes that we've designed through a design center and a builder, that it was much more generic. The choices were much more limited. This is the first experience we've had, and it's through Southern Pines, where it's very flexible. You can, if you don't like one designer or one vendor, you can pick your own. But it is, I will say, it is more stressful. So it's not really a design center. Yes, Port City Cabinets will design your kitchen for you, and that's a session. But we went down and we did sort of the brutal attack idea as well, and just kind of one weekend went down and hit all the vendors.
Yeah.
And then as I was looking at things and re-looking at them, had other changes and something didn't fit or didn't go well, we could go back. So we did make actually several trips, but it has been, in the end, I'm hoping it'll be a more fruitful process because it's very much tailored to design, to personal taste. But it is, without a designer or an interior designer person to look at things, it is more stressful because you're kind of hoping that you're making the right choices and things will fit together well. So that it's been a very, very different experience for us in that sense. Now, as far as appliances, we ended up not using who Ted recommended. And we live in Northern Virginia, which is very metropolitan, and ended up using a vendor up here because we were able to have more choices and a better sale price, frankly.
We saved over 25% on the appliances. I have to drive them down on a trailer that we have, but the big thing is we ordered those appliances in October, mid-October. The refrigerator and the microwave and the little mini fridge and the dishwasher just came in last weekend. The stove, it's a 48-inch stovetop range stove. Is a big, massive thing, and it still hasn't come in yet, and we paid for it in October. So we're kind of lucky that it's not, the house isn't done yet.
Yeah.
That is the one.
We went
You can get
Yeah,
by
we
on
went
postcards.
through Atlantic Appliance
Mhm.
and which was who Ted had recommended, and they were okay. I mean, I wasn't overly wowed, but we ordered our stuff back in July of last year, and the only thing we're waiting on, and we ordered Bosch appliances. The only thing we're waiting on now is the dishwasher. So they've at least been able to get stuff in, but I understand that now, at this point, getting appliances is a little bit more tricky, but back to your question about the designer. At Rugworks, they do have an in-house designer, and she is very, very good, and we found very helpful trying to pull everything together. And so I just took some of the samples I had from various things and said, okay, this is what we have, because we had switched midstream from Owings to Rugworks. So yeah, it was that was stressful, but they were just very, very helpful, and I really appreciated the design aspect of it from the Rugworks gal.
Sandy, are all your appliances and everything in?
Not that we've seen. We have doors, we have windows, we have a roof, but we have seen no appliances. Bathtubs are in, but we've seen no appliances. And I haven't asked, and I'm just trying not to bother him, and I'm like, just hoping.
It's not dried in yet, so.
Yeah, so,
When are you supposed to move in?
Oh.
they really won't say.
Oh.
End of the year, it should be finished probably by December, January. And that's okay, because we're not in a big hurry. We're not selling our house here until that one's done. And he's still working. I'm not. Well, I just work part-time right now, so.
Yeah, I was hoping to retire the end of this year, but no, not retiring while this house is not built, so.
Yeah, there's definitely challenges going on. I heard that there's like 50 houses under construction right now, something like that. There's a lot of construction going on.
Well, they
Actually,
sent out that
Mark, we just
newsletter,
saw
yeah.
Mark last weekend, and he took us to see a model home, because he thought the windows were going to be like our sunroom windows. But he said there's 67 or 68 homes being built right now.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Ted's working on 32 right now.
I don't know
Wow.
how he manages them all.
Bill Clark has about 6 or 7 in the Bluffs, and I'm sure there's so many different builders. So
Well, they've
That's a
expanded the
lot.
builders too. They have more, so.
yeah.
So
Does anybody-
right now, it sounds like a good time that we're all not there. When you think about
Right.
what it probably looks like and sounds like during the course of a day with all these trucks and then builders and, things coming in and out. Did everybody see the picture on Facebook of the bear
No,
walking
No.
across the front path?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, there was a picture on Facebook. Somebody was coming in. It looked like, Michael, it looked like it was in like morning, right?
It was in the morning. It was in the morning. It was a little foggy.
And they were coming in, that first sign before you meet the gate, before you get to the gate.
Mhm.
And she was just kind of like walking. She wasn't on the road, but she was just kind of walking,
Wow.
Yeah. So
I tried to get on Facebook, and our house is the one that's on the lake that's being built. And they asked me, one of the questions is, how many swans are on the lake?
yep.
And I answered 3. They won't let me on now.
Are you kidding?
So I tried again for 2, and then nobody's ever responded to me, so I can't get on.
That's terrible. That's really horrible. You need to do you converse with Mark?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, you can just send Mark a note, and because he's the one that controls the person who controls that.
Okay.
if that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
So actually, so what I'm gonna do, give me 1 second. So I'm gonna show you this, I
How
thought
many
was pretty-
swans are on the lake? I don't
Two.
know.
There's
I didn't
two.
even know there were any.
Yeah, I thought I've never heard Ted laugh, and when he was at our house, I said, "Oh, wow, look at that."
Wow.
I
That'd be
said to
interesting.
him that I thought they were real, and he just started laughing hysterically. I was so disappointed. They're not real.
No, they're not.
They
Oh,
weren't
yes.
real ones.
I was
this-
so disappointed.
Oh, no, so this was 2 days ago,
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
right? So, yeah, but definitely send Mark a note and just say that you made a mistake and please to like let them onto the Facebook, let you into the Facebook group.
Okay.
Yeah,
Does anybody have any idea, the house that was for sale? And I want to say it's on Bay Colony. It was listed for like 6 something and they dropped the price like 25,000.
really?
Yeah. And it's on realtor.com. You can look at it that way. But yeah, I was just kind of curious as to
Is it pretty big?
why it hasn't been zapped up.
Is it a resale or a new home?
Resale.
Oh, recent, oh.
You know,
Yeah, it looks like
I
they do
think, I think that, because the different people are looking for different things. And I know that a lot of the builders are building spec homes there. There are one of the things about the Bluffs, I think that most of us were excited about was the idea that we were actually able to build a home that, was unique and what we wanted. Yet there are a lot of people now who don't want to wait and, would just want to be able to move right into something. Maybe it's not, has anybody been in it? Maybe it's not what people are looking for.
I mean, it looks like when you look at the pictures on realtor.com, looks really nice. And it has a nice backyard and everything. So
I'm
I don't
surprised
know.
it's not sold. I mean, there's hardly anything.
Remember the blue house?
Everything's always pending if you look on.
Who
But I
is,
think-
who is the builder?
Actually, Southern Pines was the original builder.
Hmm.
So I don't
You
know.
have the
I just
option to
thought-
build your own, if you not wanna.
Puppies there.
Puppies?
We're having a major thunderstorm here, so
Oh.
Really?
So
You're
where
not
is
sending
here
it
for
our
you?
way, are you?
I don't know, but did you just hear that? Because I just jumped
Where are you at, Nina?
in Rye, New York.
Right.
Okay.
Hey,
I
Robin,
went-
what part of New York are you from?
Got it from us yesterday.
So we're here on Long
People were saying
Island.
It was like really bad.
Grew up in Teaneck, New Jersey.
Oh, you're kidding. My aunt and uncle live on Bell Avenue.
Oh, yeah.
No, I know that an exit from hell extremely well. I honestly do not know. And people think New York drivers are bad and New York traffic is bad. I do not know how you people survived getting on and off Route 4 from that exit. It is just, it's taking.
First highway I drove on.
Is it really? Well, I guess everybody, yeah, but I was a city kid. So I didn't get my license until I was 32. So yeah, I know everyone's like laughing, because what did I need to drive for? And yeah, so I tell everybody I've had my license for 10 years now. So, it's a wonderful thing. But that's, and out of all of the things that are concerning me, like the crazy things that you think about moving to another state and moving, away from everything I know, is the driving at night. Is that, you look down that road and we really haven't spent a lot of time at night at the Bluffs, but it is literally like looking into the end of the world.
We haven't been there at night. We've only been there, but I can see how it could be, yeah.
Right?
I'm not a night driver in the first place, so I
Nor
guess
am I.
I won't be going
Well,
out
I
at
can't
night.
drive at night either, no.
We were there in December for the POA meeting, and we ended up closing the place, and it was the first time that we had driven at night. Because we were usually there. We were there in May, and then we were there in October, so it stayed lighter. And by that time we were on the road, and I had been doing all the driving. Michael keeps making me do all the driving so that I feel comfortable because I get lost a lot. And so I gave him the keys. I said, I'm not driving at night. And we got to the end of the road, that first road. And like, literally, you look to the right, you look to the left. It's like the world literally just fell off the world. And you stop laughing at me over there.
Yeah, that's a definite, like, that is a big fear of mine. Like, I don't like driving like that.
But on the other hand, I'm thinking, and maybe, you guys who've been down there a little bit more, that new community that's being built, because I heard that they've cleared land.
Yeah, they're building. Yeah, we saw that community. Yeah.
So I'm kind of hoping that maybe there'll be some
like
lights
right
from that community on that
The
road,
church,
right?
or the church
That
should have good-
I'm already
Great
figuring out where the,
That's a
where
new
the lights are going to
community
be.
going.
But a lot of the people that I spoke to, Nina, in the community, a lot of the women, not so much the men, and I hate to make it a sex thing, but they say they just don't drive it. They just choose not to drive at night. And because we'll have this amazing social life without having, in a lit neighborhood where we don't have to worry. Eventually I'm going to get stuck, and Michael will get the same phone calls that he gets here. Please stay on the phone with me while I'm driving. And, and I guess you get used to it, and but that's really truly my biggest concern is those
Oh, I
roads.
didn't even think of that until you just said it. Now I have it.
No, it's not that. I'm just kind of hoping that as the area is building up with more communities and shopping centers and stuff like that, maybe there'll be, lights. But again, I don't know what my life looks like yet, and that's part of the situation. And the thought is that, what does the daily life look like? I know there are roads here that I choose to go around because I don't feel as comfortable. I mean, I can do it. It's not that I can't, but that's really the big, my big thing. I've never lived in a rural type of community.
Without street lights. I am like so addicted to street lights.
Once you go down the road about 20 times and turn your high beams on, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And before we bought in here, we looked in different places, and we're from Illinois. So Illinois is as flat as a pancake. So we looked in Tennessee and Arkansas, and there were hills and curves with no lights. And I'm like, no, I want a place that there's near kind of civilization. So I can drive flat roads, but I can't do the windy and the up and down. So Tennessee and Arkansas and all those were out. And when we saw bluffs, it was like, okay, these are nice roads. So I was happy with that. But we haven't been there when it's pitch black either.
You'll enjoy the stargazing.
I'm excited about that. I love stars.
Yeah.
Look, I think that there's pros and cons with everything, obviously. And there's another person, she's not hooked up to Zoom right now, but she's down there. She bought a house to live in. She moved in December, which she's living down there in Winnebago, right near the area, right by Brunswick Forest and that whole area back there in the community. And everything's like right there. Like she's literally 5 minutes from absolutely everything, but she still is looking forward to being where we are. She's going to be sorry that she's a little bit farther away, but there's a reason why we chose where we chose, right? There's pros and cons. So, we'll get used to the roads. We'll identify the people that feel the most comfortable. And Michael, you're going to volunteer to drive all the ladies around at night, right?
What else am I gonna do? I have nothing else to do.
We'll start a team reach for those who feel comfortable driving at night and who's willing to pick up. There's going to be a lot of adjustments. Certainly for me, literally never really living more than 40 miles from New York City. So this is going to be
That will be a big adjustment.
It will be, but it's definitely better than Florida. And half the people I know, and now they're talking about what they're calling the halfback move, that all the New Yorkers and New Englanders right, Nina? We
Are
talked
coming back to the
that
Carolinas.
they
Yep.
moved down to Florida. They hate Florida, and now they're coming halfway back to the Carolinas. So they're not coming all the way back up north. It'll be a transition, but you know what? I'm ready. I think I'm ready for it. And we're very close to everything else. You know, my friends are like, what are you gonna do? You know, we're an hour and 15-minute flight back, you know, to the New York area. So, and I heard that the airport opened another building. But I don't, you know, are they getting flights from other areas? Is that what's going on? Anybody know?
They're adding other flights. There's another airline that's going to be doing like direct flights to Orlando and some other direct flight, different places. So yeah, they're doing some nice expansion things at the airport. So, and I actually took, the last time I was down there, took a quick drive through the airport. Our son's a pilot, so
Oh, cool.
we do these airport things. And so yeah, very easy in and out. Parking would be the only thing I would be a little concerned about maybe at the holidays, but who knows if they're gonna add on parking or whatever. But this looks like a very nice airport. But there's something I was gonna ask you and it just went out of my head. So anyhow.
No, we
But yeah.
think it's a,
Oh, I know.
oh yeah, we call it a Fisher Price Airport. It's like the Fisher Price Airport.
Oh,
When
because
you've dealt with Kennedy and LaGuardia,
oh, well, yeah, there's no comparison.
Oh, LaGuardia is brand new now.
it's still
The
LaGuardia.
first airport rebuilt or built in 20 years in the United States or something, so.
It's still LaGuardia. What were you gonna ask?
I was gonna ask about, so what do we know about this development that's going out our way? What kind of housing? Is it gonna be nice? Is it gonna be?
Anybody have any information about that? No,
Last
nobody
call,
seems
there
to know.
I think the last call, I think Bob said something about they're just gonna be smaller homes. They're not
Yeah,
near
more
as
moderate price.
more, yeah. And I think there might be some townhouses too. I think that's what he said, but
That's what I
I'm not
recall.
quite sure.
Yeah.
But we did drive by it and there's
Where
really
is this?
nothing much to see,
Yeah,
but
it was- it
dirt,
was cleared and now it's about it.
yeah.
Where's this development?
When you look,
It was-
a left out of Dogwood, you know, when you're on Dogwood, take a left, you're on Mount Misery and go down Mount Misery and they'll be on the right-hand side, right?
If I recall, yeah.
Yeah,
We can go
like
back
maybe a
last-
mile down or not too far down. If I can remember correctly, but I believe it was on that right side. When you turn, leaving our community and you're on Dogwood, you take a left on Dogwood, it's on the right. Yeah.
So it's
Well,
on
that's all-
Dogwood.
No, no, it's off of Mount Misery.
Oh, it's off. Okay.
Mount
Yeah.
Misery. When you're leaving our community, you take a left and then you'll take a left onto Mount Misery, go down Mount Misery about a mile that I recall, and it's on the right, I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's a
Something like
it's a
that.
couple miles from the.
It
neighborhood.
might
I don't
be, it
remember
might be more
exactly
than a
where.
mile, I don't know. Mount Misery is quite long.
So do you think that that's going to create any problems making the left-hand turns eventually out of,
No.
out of the area? You don't think it's going to be?
No, I don't think so, not right now.
No, it's gonna be a while.
But I think there'll be other developments on that Mount Misery Road. If you, I mean, you know, that road is kind of lonely.
There's really nothing on there. I mean,
Nothing that exciting.
no. So,
Yeah.
the hopes obviously for those of us that are excited by lights, is that if they're going to start building these kinds of things over there, at least but they're going to have to start building up other things. We talked about this last time, that if you're going to put, another, let's say 100 homes, even if it's just 100 doors or 250 doors, there's going to need to be more, something else in the area. Whether it's another, they build up the supermarket or add something else to that, because now you've got, a lot more people.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a nail.
Apologize,
salon.
but that is.
I'm sure they'll have a little strip shopping center with your basic stuff in a couple of years. That's my guess. I mean, it's a huge opportunity, you know, to build something like that. So and they have all these people moving in.
There's gonna be enough demand moving out
Yeah.
that way.
I think
One of the
what
things
you're
you're
gonna
setting
do,
this up, I gotta go.
I don't think you're gonna see much there until the Bluffs and some of the other developments build out, because eventually we'll have over 600 houses. Right now, there's only 100. So there's really no impetus for any developer to spend millions of dollars in putting in a shopping center. But I would envision that in 3 or 4 years, when the Bluffs is really almost built out, and now that other community is going to be built and people moving in there, that will start to create some impetus for some developers to put something. Otherwise, what else? There's really nothing up Mount Misery Road anyway, if you went further up the road. Some
Yeah,
farms
the other
and
way.
houses.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Yeah,
And,
we
you know,
haven't spent a lot of time.
if you think about it, we're really not that far away from that first little shopping center where the Food Lion is. And then if you go another 10 minutes, you where all the other major shopping is. So,
Right, it's 15 minutes down to that Harris Teeter from our
Right.
house. I think we clocked it. So it's really not that bad.
where Robin and I are, we're very spoiled, because even though we're in a suburban community here, we're literally 5 minutes from a shopping center that has a
everything, yeah.
CVS and supermarket and other stuff.
Yes,
And then we're
that's-
another 5 minutes from the next one. So we're very spoiled. So going an extra 10 or 15 minutes, it's not going to be terrible. And, you know, it's just the two of us. It's not like we're shopping for, you know, a family of 5 kids, you know.
Right.
So we can be selective in terms of how often we step out.
Well, it's
Yeah,
kind of like now, you kind of really have to do, since the gas is so expensive, it's like, okay, I'm not gonna go back out. You know, you try to do all your errands at one time instead of coming back home and then going back out. So it's kind of.
I'm doing that now here as well. You know,
Yeah.
making decisions on, now, anybody that's down, you know, have you noticed any shortages of anything that you're having difficulty finding?
Just appliances.
It's the appliances.
Grocery-
Yeah, those are
the
kind of
grocery
important.
stores,
Appliances and
stores are
windows. So
Yeah,
windows.
you know, it's really interesting considering how many, you know, are out there. And, you know, one of the things that made us choose this builder as well is because they are a franchise. So they buy together. So they, you know, in other words, they're working with, you know, everybody's buying from, they have contracts with the different companies. So the appliances, they're buying straight from the company. From Mannington, they're doing straight through the company. So, you know, at least from a sourcing standpoint, so far, that hasn't been as much of an issue. We had the first little glitch in that the company that was the quarry for the outside stone for the house is no longer, they closed all their North Carolina quarries. So now it becomes too expensive to come from someplace else. So just when I thought I had figured out a stone for the front of my house, now there's another one, which I actually like better than the first one. So sometimes there, you know, there's good things that happen, but I'm finding that my biggest concern right now is the kitchen counter. Because I don't know what you guys have been finding, but the what they're telling me is that the granite that was the level that was included in our house is now, let's say, level 2, and then the level 1 stuff, you know, there's less available. So I have a feeling that that's going to be a big challenge. Have you guys been seeing, I mean, when you look through your counters, you know, when you've been starting to do that, have you been seeing any changes in what was available, what you were looking for?
I haven't, I mean.
Not yet.
Not yet. I mean, I am, you know, I have a feeling that, you know, when it comes down to like maybe some flooring that I picked out or the countertop, you know, if they can't get what we want, I feel like I'm ready for that there are so many other choices. You know, there's a lot of choices out there. So I'm trying not to, if they come back and say, we can't get this, I'm just gonna say, okay, I'll pick something else out. I'm just gonna, you know, there's so many other things to choose from.
When we went to Owens, it was Owens, right?
Fine.
Oring, we went and I liked some of the stuff, but I was kind of iffy. And then when we decided to go to Rugworks, I felt better about my selections. I liked them a lot better, and they gave me help, like especially around the fireplace. The other place didn't even ask me what I wanted around the fireplace, and I didn't know to ask. I just thought it was a fireplace. So I mean, Rugworks really was great in that they helped, and I like my selections better, or our selections better than the first place.
Agreed.
I agree too.
But Sandy, to your point, I think you have to keep the attitude of, okay, that's not available. I'll figure something else out.
Move on.
You're right, because there are so many other choices. When we were there last week, we met our neighbor 2 doors down, and he's an original owner. He built his second house, which is 2 doors from ours. He was like the second person that lived there. John, I don't know his last name.
Yeah, the second or third person ever move into the Bluffs.
And they let us come in their house, and I was so excited because I go, oh my gosh, I think these are our floors. But there are variation of our floors. Ours are a little bit, ours have gray and kind of grays and browns, and there's the two, but there's a little bit darker tone. But it was nice to actually see it on the floor.
Right.
You know, it's kind of
Well,
nice.
we picked all our stuff out, excuse me, and met Ted at the house where do you remember when you would go where that dog washing place was? The owners wanted their dog to be able to be washed inside the house. That was
Rock.
his, yeah. And
A
that was
dog
his office.
shower. I have
So,
one in my
yeah.
current house.
So we walked in, and after we spent the weekend picking everything, and we walked in, and Ted's first question to us was, what kind of garage door do you want? I said, I don't care, just one that opens. And so we looked around, and I'm like, that's our counter. That's this. It's like, oh, it looks pretty. So I felt good about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, I was just, up until that point, I was losing my mind, but it was great. I mean, it looked good.
Well, I feel like I picked this stuff out. We picked this stuff out so long ago. It's not going to be a big surprise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right.
It's like,
The furniture,
pick
and
that.
everything. I think I like it.
Or I hope I like it.
But it was, and what kind of floors are you guys putting in?
We did the LVT.
The LVT?
Yeah.
The LVT?
Grayish. Gray.
We've never had them before. We have the hand scraped hardwoods in our house now, but Brian said he could, and he's a woodworker, and he honestly just could not tell the difference. And we have a dog, and I just thought it'd be, and the moisture, it'd just be easier to have those.
Yeah.
I felt the difference when you're barefoot. That was really the only difference. The ballast actually has the LVT on their floors in their rooms. And it was just, that was really the only difference that I felt, because I walked the model. The model has the hardwood, and then the ballast had the LVT. And barefoot was really the only way that I was able to tell. And I'm not supposed to be walking barefoot all the time anyway. But that being said, you know, everybody has been telling me the LVT, and price for price, it's about the same. So
It is about the same.
Well, Mark took us around to various models we looked at. And every one that I walked in, I tried to guess whether it was wood or vinyl. And I was wrong virtually every time. I said, okay, I give up. You know, vinyl's fine.
Well, it's different nowadays with what they can produce. It's amazing. So you really can't tell.
Yeah.
And Nina, you have dogs. So, you know, anybody that has dogs, obviously that's going to be the best, you know, the best choice from what I'm told. So, yeah, we have the ability, because we went to see the model. We actually purchased the same house. So we know we know this house. I know where every outlet is. I know where, you know, and we were given the opportunity to spend some time alone there.
Electrical walkthrough.
And we were sitting, we had lunch at the kitchen counter and staring at the cabinets. And I'm going, you know, that cabinet looks really high. And I walked over to the way they had the kitchen cabinets there, and I'm glad I did, because I couldn't reach the cabinet. It was so high that I would not be able to open the cabinet the way that it was. So we ended up like, and Michael's 6'4", so he can reach everything. And it works out well only because he takes the high shelves and I take the lower ones, and it, you know, makes for a really happy marriage. But had I not spent time in that house, but now because I have walked through it, and we've walked through it so many times, and then we go on YouTube, because the walkthrough of the house is actually on YouTube.
Oh, that's
So
easy.
it's really cool, because as we start looking at like, okay, are we going to take this furniture or that furniture, or where are the outlets in that room, and can we, so we, you know, it's been really nice to be able to, we're very comfortable already in the space. So we've seen what the floors look like. We know what the tiles are. They already designed, and we like this, we don't like that. The cabinets, we like the cabinets here. We've changed some of the cabinets and redone. The biggest change is that he has to redo the island in the kitchen, because Michael's feet are bigger. So Michael, what is he doing to that?
All he's doing is moving the wall. He's not expanding the island.
No.
The wall that's on the outside, he's just moving it in about 5 or 6 inches so that I could sit underneath it without having to sit back away from it. This is no leg room on the way they have the model.
That's interesting.
So, yeah, so like, that was the biggest change, you know, the only major, if you consider that a major change, but we would never have really paid attention to that.
Right.
Unless he'd been sitting there and doing that. So,
Well, that was the advantage of being in the model, even if it wasn't that model, because Robin and I, we were in that particular model many times now, but we also went in other model homes in other neighborhoods. Like we went down to River Lights and a few other places, and we walked around, and we sat in chairs, and we walked into closets, and so we can get comfortable with what we want. So now it enabled us to look at the different layouts and look at how they do the furniture in this room, and how they have where the stairs are relative to the entry and things like that. And we kept going back to the model that we like and saying, for all the other nice things that we see in these other homes, we just kept going back to the one that we like. That's why we feel very comfortable with it. And like Robin said, it's on YouTube. So every once in a while we go open up the YouTube and we say, okay, would this piece of furniture fit here? Would it fit there? How would it look here? What if we change the color? And it really helps us a lot. So we feel very fortunate with the choice that we made, and we're very comfortable with the choice that we made. And the other thing that Robin didn't bring up that I'm listening to you guys talk about, so with the benefit of going with our builder, even though it is a different price point, is that everything is done all at once in the design center, where I know you guys, it sounds like you have to go to the flooring place and then the granite place and then the counter place.
Yes,
we don't have the luxury of doing that being up here in New York. So what we're going, and I know that we're going to have the opportunity to change our minds as time goes on, but we're going down in August to do our design and planning, and we've already started that process. So we're going to be able to do most of it literally in 2 to 3 days. And then
that's how it was with Bill Clark with us. Yeah, it makes it. It didn't. I mean, I didn't know if you know what it would be like with Southern Pines. We went with Southern Pines, but we got hooked on this floor plan for Bill Clark, and we were trying to get Southern Pines to find something, you know, like it. But, you know, they can't copy floor plans, you know what I mean? So that's why we ended up with Bill Clark.
So yeah, but
I was going to ask, is anyone else having, how do I describe it? feeling weird about we're downsizing. And I'm finding that to be stressful in itself, just leaving stuff behind and not having the storage, excuse me, that we have in our current house now. And yeah, I'm just finding that a little challenging, just downsizing. Maybe some of you are not downsizing, but for us, it's been hard.
One of the things
We were
that-
supposed to be downsizing because our daughter has moved out and she's not going to be coming with us. We are not downsizing. So
Yeah,
We thought we
failed.
were.
we're gonna have one plate in each cabinet because we have a lot of storage. So it's like, we're gonna have one pot in each drawer. We're gonna be we'll have a lot of room.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
supposed to be
all of-
downsizing.
wait a
We
minute,
added
so- wait a minute, so
33%.
all of us are gonna put all of our extra stuff in your cabinets.
Yeah.
That's the
Fine, bring
plan.
it in.
So if you're running
I
out of
think
it,
I
so
need
don't
to
worry
rent some
about it.
space from you.
That's when we'll have the party and we'll just all use all your stuff.
Okay.
We're
You wanna
down.
sit on the lake?
I'm really excited about our pantry because we have a very, very big pantry in this new house and I have a very pitiful pantry in this house. So I was
We're
like,
doing the reverse.
what
So
was that?
Nina, your thunderstorm just showed up here.
Well, you can't even tell. It's pitch black out.
Well,
but in
the rain just started
it
here,
looks,
so
it still looks like blue sky behind me.
it
but
does.
It's crazy because my backyard, you can't see anything. It's pitch black.
So,
This is the front yard.
You talk about downsizing, and I think that when I think that the cliche is that when you get to this point of your life, you kind of get rid of all the stuff. I don't necessarily think we're certainly not physically downsizing. Michael and I talked about it, and we said, okay, what do we really need? What kind of space do we really need? Well, I need an office. He needs a space for himself. Okay, that's 2 bedrooms. We need a guest room. For whatever. That's 3 bedrooms and a place for us to sleep. So how are we doing that? At this point, the downsizing all seems to be on me. Ladies, are you finding that as well?
I have to confess, because I have lived in this house. This is my parents' house that I live in right now. And Mike and I just got married 6 months ago.
Oh, congratulations.
So he has a house full of crap that we still own. And then I have a house full literally of not only my crap, but a lot of my parents' crap. So when you talk about downsizing, I mean, we are 2 major hoarders to begin with. And now we have 2 households. I don't know what we're gonna do, quite honestly, because
Facebook
even though the
Marketplace.
house we're building is much bigger than our 2 houses put together right now, there's not gonna be a lot of storage. And there's certainly one of the big differences, there's not a lot of walls because of these open floor plans.
Yeah, there's no walls for art. There's no walls. I have a grandfather clock. I'm going to float it in the, so, that's been a challenge as well as I'm looking around going, okay, I have pictures there and pictures there. There are no walls.
Yeah, I actually had walls added for a dining area because my option was to have the open dining, living, eating area. And I said, can we put something up to make it like a delineation? Because I just feel like it's just one big open room. And then I do have some antique furniture that I've inherited that I had to make sure the walls were long enough to fit. So we did custom make 2 walls to fit these 2 pieces of furniture. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I don't know what we're going to do. And fortunately, my husband is a mover. He works for a moving company. So his solution to everything is we'll just bring everything and get rid of it when we're down there. So,
We're good friends with the consignment people up here. We've consigned a lot. And in fact, as recent as 2 weekends ago, I had been down and looked at the house again in North Carolina. I came back and said to Dave, I'm thinking we need to get rid of more furniture yet. And we had already gotten rid of a lot. And so we hustled and found somebody who was willing to take another sofa and a chair and a half and some other stuff. And, we were used to having a full basement and all that, which is all gone now, obviously. So we consigned an awful lot of stuff. So
Yeah,
And
we're taking a lot of stuff that we're making decisions that we weren't planning on taking before. Partially because the prices of everything, and I don't want to rush. One of the big pieces of information that people that we spoke to in December said, don't make the mistake of feeling like you have to totally furnish your house all done from the very beginning. So that if anybody would have given us one piece of advice, it was live in the house in the spaces that are so important before you just go furnish everything. Because you don't really know, you think you know how everything is going to go and what the flow is going to be, but take your time and live in the space. I mean, we're taking, as I said, we're taking things that I didn't think that we would, and there's certain non-negotiable pieces that I want. And everybody that when I get down there, I know if you guys are hearing this, oh, it's coastal. You can't do, antique wood, or, that's very dark for a coastal home. So there's a lot of judgy stuff going on. The decorators down there seem to be, everything's has to be very light. I'm used to, oak and antiques and all this kind of
Cherry.
stuff.
I have a lot of cherry.
So are
Yeah.
you finding that there's a conflict of fitting stuff that you're taking or things that you want, or you just trashing everything and starting all over again?
Say, who cares what other people say?
That's
Exactly.
right.
Look at our background.
We're not really.
Yeah, look at us. That we have cherry, we're dark all up here and we've gone lighter down there. Cause we're keeping this house for a while. And so we're gonna be like both houses, will be snowbirds. So we had to buy more furniture down there because we need furniture to stay up here.
So Mary, you guys have been pretty quiet up there. Are you like taking it all in, or you're just waiting to like give us the big information? You're just listening to all of it and you're gonna chime in. So just fill us in a little bit about where you are in your build right now, and if you have any frustrations or.
Well, we just got our trusses on our house. We
Yay!
had signed our contract
Yay.
last September. And so that's a good plus, and we're hoping maybe August, September to move in. And as far as you're talking about furniture, we've moved so many times that we find it's just easier and less expensive just to get rid of the stuff, because it never really works into your house anyways. And I kind of saved a lot of stuff this move, and I'm already starting to find out it is not going to work. And I literally have had, it's going to be in storage for a year, because we're in a furnished condo downtown Wilmington, and we took all our stuff, and I got rid of a lot of furniture before we moved and just put it off in storage thinking we'd be in there 6 months, and it's going to probably be 13 months by the time we're done. No, and by the way, we were at the pool this afternoon. It was beautiful. The water was great.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So
It's a saltwater pool, isn't it?
I don't think so.
Bluffs? I thought it was. I wasn't sure if it was.
Well, I
salt.
kind of came home feeling like, oh, there's some chlorine, which is good.
Okay, well, that's fine.
But I heard that somebody was complaining. There's always somebody complaining about that the bottom of the pool is very rough, and people's feet are getting all like cut up and stuff like that. That somebody needs to resurface the pool.
Oh.
Every pool I've been at, the start of the year, and you get walking on the bottom, your feet are kind of raw until they get toughened up.
Was it crowded?
No, there's maybe a dozen people there. Now, we didn't make the Memorial Day party, but I heard there was over 200 people there.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
that's nice. That's real nice.
Wow.
Which is great, because I think that they're doing a lot of a lot of that kind of stuff, because now there's more and more people, and there seems to be a lot of activity going on. Just in general, is anybody members of any of the clubs besides this one on Team Reach?
Yeah, I'm part of the golf group. There's
Are
a
you?
bunch of the guys go out on Wednesdays, and again, because all the groups are growing, Now they're doing it again on Tuesdays as well. So
Great.
that looks like that's been going on for quite some time. There's maybe 40, 45 guys on the roster.
Which
If
is,
any, if there are any lady golfers, I'd like to go out, not necessarily in a league, just go out and hit some, do some 9, not the 18, just do 9.
I think that as people are gonna start to, transition back down there, I'm working with Cynthia Sosnowski, who is doing the welcome committee. So I promised her that as you guys start transitioning into your houses, we're gonna kind of do a handoff. So she's resurrected the welcome committee. She's been there for quite a while. She's one of the 2 ladies that did the club event where all the people, the heads of the clubs came. I felt like it was like a college, a college sorority rush. But there's a lot of activity going on, things that are starting. It's a nice way to start to get to know other people as well. So like I joined the bird watching group, which I can do from virtually, right? I have a bunch of people who want me to start the knitting, the knitting group virtually because nobody down there is doing it, and people, want to do things. So I think that as more and more people get involved, when you feel comfortable being down there, but everybody's been really open. I think that the developers are actually getting very excited because they're seeing everything rolling out. This pandemic really is kicking us all in the butt. And it's frustrating, for everybody. I'm listening to your stories, and I know that 6 or 7 months from now, I'm going to be here whining and complaining about something that's not, that I thought was going to be all easy and done. And there's going to be frustrations, and because this is our first week, neither one of us has the opportunity. We have to do we have to do an electrical walkthrough where they literally go outlet by outlet and, that's actually more frightening to me than other things because that's a big deal. What happens if I want to put a lamp? Well, there's no corners to put lamps anyway. So, there's no, and my mother had asked me, since you have to like float the sofas, where are you going to plug in a lamp in between? They're in the floor already. They already have them in the model. I saw them in the floor where I might not have thought about that. But
I probably wouldn't have either, yeah. I know.
But it's already there. So it takes a lot of the stuff. I feel like Michael's just, I'm going to say, Michael, you just go do it. He's going to know, you're going to go with me and you're going to check out every outlet and every, that to me is actually more daunting than a lot of the other stuff that people are talking about. Did anybody else feel the pressure
Yeah, I feel
there?
that way. I'll tell you,
Did
we
you?
had Best Buy. We came from the Charlotte area, and the one that was by us, like you would go in, there'd be nothing on the shelves. The Best Buy here is amazing. A lot of stuff, and the girl came out already to our place, and she's already talking about, how we're gonna wire TVs and
Where to put
where to put everything we need. So Best Buy, she was
Best Buy.
amazing.
Now, where is that Best Buy?
Downtown.
Oh, it's in Wilmington.
Ted walked through our electrical with us, and he was making suggestions that I never even thought, like, okay, when you leave the room, you're gonna want to turn the light off, but when you want to leave the room another way, you want to turn the light on. And I'm like, okay, so I mean, he was phenomenal with that.
That was great because there's so many things we didn't think about.
No, you don't think about it because you've never done it before. You never, you buy a house and the lights are already there.
Right.
So you don't think about it.
You want to turn on the room light, but then when you go to bed, you want to be able to turn the room light without having to walk all the way back to the front.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm surprised my husband's not more concerned about the outlets because we have a 3-car garage and 2 cars are going to be, it's his workshop. And he has like outlets everywhere.
He's a tinker.
But it's real, yeah. But what's funny about that? So we started talking about things like, I mean, I have cords all over the place. So I have, charge for my watch, charge for my tablet at night, charge for my phone. Michael's got one for his phone. There's things plugged in all over. And I know where they are here. So when we went into the model, we came in through the front door and we opened the front door, we put our groceries down, like we really had the opportunity to be in the space. And I'm like, where are we going to do all of that? Like, do I want an extra outlet on the island? And then, of course, Michael said immediately, nothing's going on the island, no clutter. You're not going to get into a bad habit. We're not putting any outlets there so that you don't get into a bad habit right off the bat. So like, where are people doing that kind of stuff? Right? Like, how do you do that? Like,
What do we do, what's it called?
You can have an outlet, put like in a drawer.
Oh, I know
yeah,
what you're
well,
saying.
and there's going to be places, look, there's fights that I'm going to fight.
USB.
And then there's fights that, I'll let him win. But well, and because we all know, but when, but it's one thing when it's already there and you kind of come in and you find, everybody settles to your place. But this is one of those things that here we have an opportunity. So the builder and the people that I was working with at AR, they knew, like the notes that they were making, like, where is Robin putting her boots? She needs extra space in the bathroom for her, they're putting in extra outlets for light up mirrors that never occurred to me that I was going to need electrical there. And, it's all going to be about making sure that I don't spread, because, you come in from a bigger house and you have stuff, right? So, you guys may have stuff that goes in the garage with all your tools and everything else. And that seems to be okay. But I have yarn and I have music and I have, other stuff that these houses don't seem to be, like, I don't know how people raise children and would be able to live in these houses without this extra storage, especially when you're a collector of things. And I have a 4-bedroom house and it's just the two of us living here, and there's and a half a basement and a full walk around attic, and we still have no place to put anything. So downsizing is definitely one of those things to talk about. Somebody told me, because there's certain things I've been trying to get rid of, books and, the easy, like the low hanging fruit, the stuff that, somebody said to me, some of the things that if you can set them free, take pictures of them. Like there were books that were my daughter's books that she chewed on when she was 2. She's 33. I'm not taking the books to a new house, but that was a memory for me. So now I'm able to take a picture of things. So I have a collection of photographs of things that I'm ready to let go of physically, but not necessarily emotionally.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, good idea.
Paintings or drawing, paintings or things, that she did when she was 9 that we had framed and are hanging on the walls are not coming to the new house. But yet it was part of, so maybe that helps a little bit, is that, you have an ability to put them in an album of some sort. I know that there's going to be a lot of hard decisions. And, I don't know about you guys, but it's really, and Nina, I know you're going to feel it.
I'm already feeling it listening to you.
Well, but he's been doing this TikTok thing with me because we've been talking about this. So now it's been a year, May 21st that we bought the land. So when we bought the land or the dirt, he said, okay, now it's TikTok. Right now we got 3 years, right? We got three and a half years. Now a year has gone by. A little bit has been done. We've done a little, and now we're getting to the point where September is going to be okay. Like they're going to be digging like TikTok, and I'm not feeling the pressure yet, and I know what's going to happen. And is anybody else feeling that? You guys are living in a condo with your stuff in storage. So you've already done that big.
You just take a room or a closet at a time, just go through it. I worked for the move management company and we would help, we mostly work with the elderly to downsize and get them into assisted living. And you just have to go through the stuff of what you really need and everything else. What do you want to do? Sell it, donate it?
Throw it away.
Or throw it away. And it's not easy. And if it gets emotional, bring in a girlfriend, bring in a friend, because they'll be real easy to say, do you really need that?
Yeah, it's
I like
always-
your option. I like option number 3.
Bring in the,
No,
Throw it
Throw it
away?
away.
No,
throw it away.
no.
throw it
They
away.
have to find a new home for everything.
Okay,
One of
so,
us-
yeah, but Michael has a rusty saw. Okay, he has a rusty saw that he will not get rid of, this goddamn rusty saw. And that's become my bargaining chip. If you're taking that stupid saw, I can take that.
Wait a minute, that's vintage.
And that's what he tells me. There's nothing wrong with it, just because it's rusty, because,
That's wall art now.
so,
There is no such thing as a shiny saw unless it's brand new from Home Depot.
They
But,
just
you know,
leave it
but-
out in the rain once, don't take care of that.
yeah, but I think, I think that, and again, we haven't moved. How long have we been in this house?
31 years.
31 years. So, it's a lot of, and we were the only people in our family for a while that had a house and not an apartment. So when people needed to store stuff, it was in my attic, it was in my basement, things ended up coming here. My daughter keeps bringing her winter clothes here because they take up too much room in her teeny tiny Brooklyn apartment. So it's going to be an interesting, that I think is going to be, that challenge.
That's gonna be an emotional challenge for sure, especially if you brought your family up there.
But she's been out of the house for quite a while. So I think mentally we're ready, and I think maybe the fact that it's taking so long for these houses to be built and that we're not just moving into something that's already there is kind of helping the process maybe a little bit. It certainly is for me that, that it's not like, okay, we're selling the house and we've got to be out in a month.
So I have a question. How many boxes of kindergarten papers do you have in your attic?
0.
Oh, they're all
Zero.
gone?
There's no boxes of baby stuff anymore in the attic. That we got rid of. There's other stuff in the attic. There's other clothes and some things, but the baby stuff is gone.
All right.
There you go.
Absolutely
You're
not.
acting
That
like
you
me.
know, that you can see. There,
The second
no,
part,
we've
the second rule,
got,
Robin,
what?
the second rule is if you haven't worn something in the last 6 months, you don't need it.
No, that I've been really good about because I'm looking at stuff. I have stuff from 19 when I was working corporate in New York City. And my daughter has come and said, do you have anything vintage, like from when you were young? So that went after I got over that thing, but she's taken some of my Perry Ellis coats and Brooks Brothers raincoats and things like that. And it is taking shoulder pads out. But a lot of that stuff is definitely move on. Like I've
Yeah, we
given
have-
away, people need stuff right now and, all over that I feel like there are things that we have that I haven't worn and the high heels are gone.
But do people even use work clothes anymore? Because I have, all the business attire I'm never going to wear again. Even now, even going back to work 2 days a week, nobody's dressing up anymore. So I feel like nobody
Well-
even wants like perfectly good suits and stuff.
You do occasionally need some of those things. You're going to go meet a lawyer, for example, you don't want to go in shorts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I wouldn't dress up to that extent.
No, but
I'm not
I
gonna
Oh,
dress
no.
up to that extent again.
No, and I don't think anybody's really doing it. I know that some of the formal stuff that I've donated to some of the places like for prom, for the girls who can't afford the prom dresses and things like that. We have places around here where they help out there. I know over the years, Michael's stuff has been really appreciated because of the size that he is. That there aren't that many people who have, where you can get a jacket that's big enough. So, you know, we're hoping that the coats and the jackets and things that he's gotten rid of, because he used to wear, you know, tie and jacket to work back in, you know, back in the day. But yeah, but the high heels, that was the easy low hanging fruit. Was I'm not doing that anymore. That's just not happening. You know, so I want to know.
Look, there's plenty more that we have in this house without getting into the details. We've gotten rid of so much, but there's so much more that we haven't gotten rid of that it's not urgent yet, but probably in the next year, it's going to be, Robin, we're never going to wear this again. We're going to be leaving the New York area. How many pairs of boots do you need? And I have, you know, how many coats do I have? Well, I'll need a few coats, but I don't need this many coats. And so I probably in the next year, as we start our build to get closer and closer, but that's not the least of it. There's just other clutter in our house. I won't get into the details.
Okay,
There's
so I
stuff.
think that we, you know, we've really.
Now see how Robin is changing the subject?
We've exhausted this subject. Let's take a look at what day we would like to do our meeting for next month. What about Tuesday, the 5th? Or Wednesday, the 6th? Anybody going to be around that particular time? Does that sound right?
That's
Those are all
good.
good for you, Jim? All right, so yeah, we'll just, well, why don't we try is a Thursday okay for everybody?
Yep.
Thursday,
Yes.
It doesn't matter. We won't be able to make it, but that doesn't matter. There'll be plenty of other people.
Are you away that week?
We're going to the beach. We're going to Oak Island and renting a house.
Oh, awesome. So do you want to do it the following week?
It doesn't, you know, whatever
Like-
works for everybody. Don't,
Like Tuesday, the 12th?
sounds good.
Does that sound okay?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yep.
so I'll send everything out. And in the meantime, if there's any, you know, definitely get a hold of everybody on Team Reach. And we keep inviting people to come in, and people are watching, you know, a lot of people who aren't here are watching the recording. So I'll make sure that it's up on there. And if you have any questions or anything that you need, please continue to keep sharing with us. And Nina, as I said, we're going to be going down there the 3rd week in August. We have the 22nd.
I have no idea what I'm doing right now because this kind of caught me by surprise today. So
Yeah, so we're gonna be down the 22nd and the 22nd and 23rd. We have meetings, so we may be coming down that Saturday before. So yeah, so we'll let everybody know when we're coming. You know, when we're coming, maybe we'll all just, you know, whoever's down there, we'll all get together and see what we can do.
Oh, Robin, I do have something to chime in about.
Yeah, ma'am.
Brian and I kind of went down there at the last minute, last weekend. And this is the peak season. And we usually stay at the Best Western Plus in Leland, which is really nice. And I hadn't made a reservation. So when I called, it didn't look like they had any rooms. And she goes, yeah, we have a couple rooms. And I said, well, how much is it a night? And she said like $340 a night. I went, what, for the Best Western Plus? I mean, I didn't say that to her like that, but I thought to myself. So we ended up staying an hour closer to our house, you know, like an hour away. So it was a quicker trip back to Virginia. But Friday and Saturday nights, almost all the hotels in the area, just so you know, are over $300 a night. But talk to Mark Wilson, because Mark said, I wish you would have called me because I could get you the corporate rate at 3 of the hotels.
So yeah, so the Ballast, the corporate rate at the Ballast, just so that you know, is $149 a night.
Okay, so I just didn't even think to do that.
Yeah, so now, and then we were looking, because we're gonna be down in Southport, because that's where the business, you know, and then the design center's in Myrtle Beach. So for us to really stay at the Ballast, even though I know the manager over there, is kind of counterproductive because I don't need to be downtown. Like I'd be better off staying in Southport. There are a whole bunch of.
There's some great Airbnbs in Southport. We stayed at a really cute one.
But we're only going to be there for a couple of nights. So there's a couple of name brands, and I looked at the pricing, and they were all around like 150, and this is August. This is, by that point, the kids are back in
That's right,
school.
August is different, yeah.
Yeah, and who the heck wants to be down in Southport in August? But no, but absolutely, that corporate rate, I have the link. So if anybody ever needs that, I have the link that Matt sent to me from the very beginning. And it's super, super easy. They're really, it's, if you've never stayed there before, there's parking right there. You can walk to everything. And yeah, so he has corporate rates at some of the other places as well.
Yeah, there's two other places. One's a Marriott, maybe. One's a Marriott. And I think there's another one, but I don't know what it is. Maybe Hilton. Yeah,
But they're all downtown.
they're all downtown, yeah.
Oh, they are all downtown. Yeah, so they're probably all up and down there.
They're all-
So,
yeah.
for $149 a night to stay in a really nice place and, but it's not, for this particular trip, it's not really greatly but I made the reservation because I can always cancel it. So at least I know that I have the reservation at that price.
Yeah.
So we're gonna look at some places. I mean, I was on Expedia and, because none of, and they were like Airbnbs and things like that. We just need a place with parking and, easy in and out. I don't know how crowded it's gonna be in August.
I don't think so, because I think most of the kids are going back to school. Georgia goes back, a lot of schools in North Carolina go back. I don't know about Brunswick County though. They might still, I think they go back to the end of, near the end of August.
Yeah, I think they all go back because they're over earlier than they are up here north.
Yeah.
So yeah, so if anybody needs that, that link. But yeah, so we're gonna be down there that third week in August. We're just playing with what that looks like, and I'm just looking for the air to settle down a little bit if it ever does. But that's what's been going on. So everybody have a great night. Nina, thanks for the rain. So we didn't have to turn our sprinklers on.
We're
And
like the only part of the country that seems to have enough.
Yeah, really.
precipitation, So I'm very grateful.
Yeah, but everyone stay in touch, and if there's anything cool going on, and Sandy, if you want to shoot me that picture of the roads so that I can torture Matt with it.
We've got it right here. Hold on.
It is fun staying downtown.
It is. It is. I like it
I'm
because,
watching a huge boat just go by.
but we're familiar. We have restaurants that we like downtown, it makes it really easy. So my cell phone is 516.
Oh, okay, 516.
319
Uh-huh.
1721.
Okay, I'll send you the picture right now.
I was gonna say I showed it to you, but you won't let me share the screen.
Excuse me. Excuse me. I am very good at this. Hold on. That's all I do all day long these days is Zoom. I'm on Zoom all the time. Okay, you can share your screen now. Feel free to share.
There you go. That's your road.
Oh my God, it's a road, Michael, look.
We didn't go down there because it was hot.
It was real hot, but it looked like it went pretty far.
Yeah, it was interesting because our neighbors basically said that Matt took them on a different road that got them to the property. I think it was from a different street that hadn't been accessible before. Now, there's a new member of our team who, so somebody had emailed me that they're waiting to purchase. They have a hold on something, but they're waiting for the permits from the town for the new area. So they're up in,
It's on Fall and Pear. It's further up Fall and Pear.
Okay.
so it's all the way up at the top on Fall and Pear. So, hold on, let me.
Go into the boat ramp, probably.
Yeah,
Oh,
That's right.
we went and saw the marina, then we've seen the park. I don't know if you've been down.
So
there.
I think that they're waiting for this whole area up here
Oh, wow.
to be available, because they want to become part of the community and join, but they haven't been able to buy it. They just have a hold because there's no deed. Like nothing's been registered. They're waiting for it to be registered. So, you know, there are definitely people, they're selling that next phase as soon as they can get everything approved. So there are people coming in and to that point of why are there model houses or other houses that are there that haven't sold? Why is it? Is it because of the piece of property? Is it that they like the idea of the property? I heard as of the last time, I think that there are no more waterfront properties. They're all sold, even in all the new areas, they're all accounted for. So it's going to be interesting over the next couple of years. I think that let all these houses get done and it'll all be good. It'll all be good, but stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you guys next month.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Robin.
Have a good one. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
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 Nina, let me know when you're going down.
Yeah, I need to let my husband know we need to go down.
Absolutely. I'll speak to you guys soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.